Welcome back, everyone, to Shelter Stays, the show where two formerly sheltered homeschoolers, now adults, look at the complexities of the world, one crazy Reddit story at a time. My name is Andrew.
My name is Philip. I did not know you're going to do that. That was really well done.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was a first take, actually.
That was an absolute first take. I wasn't even sure we were ready yet. And you were just like, let's go. We're going fast. We're doing this. We're making it happen. If you've been to this show before, you know that we talk about Reddit stories and do this stuff like that. Pickle feet are the people that we think are bad. This is another rapid fire episode. If you don't know what that is, probably go back to our previous episode and figure it out because
we don't have time.
Just
kidding. We're going to go with the rules really quickly. Here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
One of us is going to read the story. We're going to read the story clearly and concisely, helpfully, to make sure that everyone understands and the person listening to it understands it. Mm-hmm. However, the person who is listening to it will get a limited amount of time to respond to the episodes or to the story itself. So yes. We're going to start with 3 separate timers. Our goal is going to be a total of 6 stories tonight. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start with a timer of 3 minutes. Then for the second story, we're going to drop down to 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then for the last story, we're going to drop down to 1.5 minutes because 1 minute was just a little bit too short to appropriately things. And that way we'll have some time to talk a little bit more about it, a little bit more about the story, and just kind of have some fun with it. But without further ado, and with that explanation underway, I think we should start the episode now.
All right, what's my story?
Your story is, am I the Picklefoot for forgetting to pack some items for our family vacation? I, male, 31, and my wife, female, 28, went on a 3-day family vacation with our 3 kids. A month before, she expressed to me this wouldn't be a vacation for her because she would be organizing all of it, do all the packing, keeping everyone on track. So I told her I would take the packing off her plate and she wouldn't have to do it. She asked me a few times the week leading up to the vacation if I was going to pack everything or if she needed to do it. I told her I had it handled and she did not need to worry about it. For some context, this is the first time I have packed for a family trip. As I am starting to pack, the wife gives me a list of things we would need and said it was not an exhaustive list, and so I would need to make sure I had everything. Well, I packed up everything I thought we would need. Before I could put the bags in the car, she went behind me and checked everything. I'd forgotten quite a few things, and they just happened to be the ones that were not on her list. Having to go back and get these items caused us to leave late, souring the start of our vacation in her eyes. Now she is mad at me because I didn't know I needed that stuff. Like I said, I haven't packed for our vacations before. So, am I the Picklefoot for forgetting items I didn't know we would need? ETA I don't know what ETA. I always forget what ETA means.
Edit to
author.
I guess. Okay,
anyways,
go ahead.
The items that I forgot are an activity binders that she makes for the kids to entertain them, her calculator and dry erase boards for her to take an exam. She's taking online college classes over the summer. One of her medications, forgot to buy road snacks and grab a bag for trash in the car, and a check we needed to cash on our way out. The kids are 8, 7, and 6, and this is our 4th big vacation. All right, your time to come up with an answer starts now.
All right, I'm just going to say it right off the bat. I don't think you're the full Picklefoot, but you are a soft Picklefoot. Reason being, she is asking you to take care of these things. Well, actually, she didn't really ask you to take care of those things. You took it on, and you were kind in wanting to take it on. The whole situation that she was saying before was that she didn't want to do all these things because it would cause her to not have a good vacation. It's a lot of work. And she explained it to you saying that like it's going to be her packing, it's going to be her planning, it's going to be her figuring out that kind of stuff like that. Now, it seems, I'm inferring from the story specifically, she is really good at packing, planning, figuring out these kinds of things. From the story as well, you're not so great at that. And so, though it's not your strength, I do appreciate that you wanted to go over and help her with these kinds of things. The problem comes, you didn't do it specifically in the way that she was looking for. And this is where I get into the kind of tricky situation, right? It's like when your significant other is asking you to, let's say, unload the dishwasher. You can unload the dishwasher, but if you don't unload the dishwasher in the way that they specifically are happy with, then you didn't do it properly and they might have to redo it again. So it's that kind of balance between doing the thing that you know your partner wants you to do, but not in the way that they want to, versus having them do it and doing something else. I appreciate that she gave you a list of things that you're supposed to pick up, and appreciate that you were able to go over and get most of those items. That shows you showed initiative. You're great. That's why I'm not giving you full Picklefoot. Where it comes down to it is, this wasn't necessarily about the list. This wasn't necessarily about the vacation at all. It was, she was feeling overwhelmed with all of these kinds of things. And so instead of going, okay, I'll pack it, I'll take care of this thing, I'll do this, kind of slowing down and asking her, what do you want me to do? What can I do to assist you with this? Maybe you're not great at packing things because this is your first time. Thank you. Because this is your first time figuring this out. This is your first time going through. But instead of going, well, I did this, I shouldn't be the Picklefoot because I did these kind of things. Slow down, realize that, maybe it's a little unfair for her to expect so much from you, depending on what you've been able to do before and been capable of doing. But this is you trying to help her. And so while it's a little difficult, slowing yourself down and going, hey, I understand I messed up. I am so very, very sorry. But I did this so I could try and help you. Please guide me, let me know what I need to do, and then also maybe pay a little bit more attention to what's going on there. Like if you knew the check needed to go, take ownership of that. You probably may need to make sure that the check continues on there and stuff like that, or the kid stuff if you know that they have that. So just pay a little more attention to what they're bringing on vacations. Make a list of the stuff that now you know she needs to bring, and so the next time you'll be right on the money for all the stuff that you need in your vacation.
Time is up. Whew. Very nicely done, sir.
Thank you.
Very well done. I forgot how good at this you are.
I'm not too good at it.
But you are. You're like, you have your thoughts eloquently put out, and everyone who has not seen our last episode, you will see me attempt this, and I'm just like, blah, 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 just like vomit.
You did a great job of it. It's just like also, it's piecing it together, and kind of, my mom did a very good job of training us how to do essays, basically. So in your mind, piecing out, okay, an A, a B, and a C. And then from there, you do like your little outlines from it, and then you build it in from there.
So it's like writing an invisible essay.
Exactly.
As he's doing this. Very nice.
So we can do so. Any feedback from you for that story?
No, I think, and this is the biggest thing that I took away from it, is that the first thing is, if this was the first vacation, I would give this guy a lot more grace, but this is not the first vacation they've been on. He's actually said that they've been on quite a few.
This is the first time he's packed.
He said this is our fourth big vacation, meaning there have been 4 opportunities for him to see how his wife does things and then pick up the slack.
Yep.
So, and I'll be completely honest, this is something that I struggle a lot with when we go on vacation, which is hilarious because we're actually packing to go on vacation right now. I'll be honest, as someone with ADHD, I really struggle if I don't have a list in front of me, and I really struggle to think about the full extent of everything that I need. I'm the person who I think I pack everything, and then I realize I've left 15 things behind that I needed.
Yep.
And so my wife does a very good job of knowing, like, hey, don't forget this, 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 and this. So we have a really good system in place where she will make the list of like, hey, we need to do this, 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 and this, and get all of these things done. And then I will take up that list and be like, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing. Or I'll even look at them like, hey, we also need to do this thing. And then I'll add things to the list and stuff like that as we're getting prepared.
That's right.
But it is that aspect of, it shouldn't just be her responsibility to take up all of that load. And that's actually going to be some of the comments that I get into. No, I think last time we didn't get into the comments, but I want to for this one, just because they kind of go into it because, yes. So do you think the public labeled him a Picklefoot or not? That is the other clarifying part about this we need to.
I think the public labeled him a Picklefoot.
You are correct. Yeah. They did label him a Picklefoot.
I felt bad, but like,
So,
you kind of are.
And this is the reason why. So a lot of people say, you're the Picklefoot. This feels a lot like she's tired of carrying the mental load for your family, and you're not really stepping up, even though you're telling her you can do it. What items did you forget? And then it goes into that. Another person says, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but basically just talks a lot about how it was the same situation for her ex-husband and how she had to pick up a lot of the load because he wouldn't do it, or he would even say, oh, I'll do it, and then he wouldn't actually do it effectively. Sometimes like that weaponized incompetence, which is something I hear a lot about, unfortunately. So it's definitely one of those things that I was leaning more towards that as well, just because it sounds like this guy, he should know these kids are not babies.
No.
He should be around the house more. He needs to know what they need. He needs to know. And yes, if they have a system in place where it's like, hey, this thing is happening. But here's another thing. And as someone who is going to school currently, that is a lot of extra pressure on top of all of it. Like, not only are they traveling, but she is also a student and trying to work on getting a degree. She's actually the same age I am right now. So it's that reality of like, you have to do what you can to relieve that load from your partner, especially in a situation where kids are involved and a family is involved and things like that. There are moments where it won't happen, but in the month prepping up to this event where you have all these kids, you need to try and do a little bit better. Yeah. So I agree, Picklefoot. And just, I definitely think he should have done better in that regard.
And I think it's very telling how little he actually talked about her in this story. He basically was like, well, I did this and I forgot this and she's upset with me because I did. It's like, hey, you didn't really talk about your kids. Nope. You didn't really talk about your wife, what you guys are doing, how she's feeling about this. You're just like, I did it. Why are you mad at me?
I did my thing. Why are you upset? Yeah. On things you didn't put on the list, because I clearly don't have the ability to think outside of the constraints of the box that you created for me.
Yeah. As a married person, that's probably not the best way to win an argument.
Not a good way at all.
You didn't put on the list. Yeah,
the list that you should know how to write, and I did as a courtesy for you. The fact that she wrote him a list without him asking for it proved that he probably wouldn't have packed any of the stuff. It also is like reminiscent of me, of the people who are like, hey, can you go shopping? Cool. What am I getting? And it's like, oh, just stuff. And it's like, okay. And then they come back with like 3 things because they didn't know what they need. And to be fair, I can be that person because I have ADHD and I can't think of like, what do we need at the house? What do we need? So like, you know, sometimes my wife and I will like be on the phone like, okay, we need this. Do we need this? What else do I need? Do we need that? Like, we're talking it out kind of thing. But it's not the same thing as like, I'm not putting in any effort and I'm just, well, you didn't give me a list, so this is what I got kind of thing. I'm like, no, you go, and she's just going to get a lot of phone calls on the way because I'm going to be like, I think we need this. We need this. Do we not need this? Do we need this kind of thing?
Do we need tomato sauce? I was about to say tomato sauce.
Do we need tomatoes?
Tomato sauce, sir.
It's Leviosa.
Not Leviosa.
Not Leviosa.
Well, that was a fantastic story. I appreciate that. Okay. Good. Are you ready for yours?
I'm ready. I'm going to close my laptop so I can fully embrace the story.
I'll let you unlock that one.
Yes, absolutely.
And then we will get ready for this. Right. Do you want me to start reading now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Am I the Picklefoot for bringing my dogs trick or treating?
Okay. I'm listening.
I went to trick or treating with my 2 kids, ages 4 and 7, and brought the 2 dogs, both chocolate labs, along with me. I decided to bring them along because they were needing their daily walks, having been cooped up inside the whole day, and they love exploring new places and scents as they're quite social animals. They were on a leash the entire time and are well trained. I would bring them right up to people's doors. I'd stand off to the side and let them sniff around the garden while still keeping an eye on my kids. The vast majority of people were fine with it. Many kids came up wanting to pet them and nobody said anything. I would come up to the doors with them but would hang back a few feet to make sure that the dogs weren't able to reach the homeowner's front door. I brought doggy bags with me and cleaned up their poop as expected. At one house, however, the homeowner yelled at me and told me to get off his property. That's the PG version, at which point I quickly obliged and retreated. Was I the Picklefoot here? Did I really do anything wrong? I felt embarrassed being yelled at in front of my kids, to be honest, but didn't realize it was that big of a deal. All right. You ready? Thoughts together? Need some time? You got it?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay. I feel like this one's a pretty open and shut case, in my opinion, with the information provided to me. I feel like this is a pretty simple example of... The hard part is you're creating a trick-or-treating story for me. And I didn't go trick-or-treating as a child because we went camping. That was our Thanksgiving. That was our Halloween thing, so we can go camping. So I don't know what the proper protocol is for trick-or-treating. So I'm going on the assumption that bringing your dogs, as long as they are behaved, they're not aggressive, they're not attacking people, and you're cleaning up after them, I would be under the impression that that would be something that would be perfectly fine, especially if other, like, they're social and you're letting people pet them and you're not letting them run into people's houses or destroy their property or things like that. So I under that understanding, I would say that she's not the Picklefoot. I think this is just one of those situations where one person was really, really upset at it and really, really, which like at that point in time, you shouldn't be letting strangers come up to your door and pass out candy to them freely for any reason. Because if you're just going to yell at one person who brings a dog up to your front door, that's maybe a thing. I don't love the idea of dogs just like sniffing through people's gardens and things like that.
Yeah.
Like the lawn is one thing, but the garden itself is like, that's something that people upkeep, and it can be, especially like dog urine itself is like got a lot of stuff in it that can kill plants and things of that nature. So that's like the one area I think she could have done a little bit better on, is just keeping them out of that spot. But at the end of the day, I feel like this one's pretty open and shut. I don't love the way she talked about it, though, because it does seem like it's very, I'm an innocent bystander phrasing. And it was very much just like, I did nothing wrong. They did this. And it's written very much like I did everything exactly how I was supposed to do it and did not make any mistakes. And then there's the part of my mind that's like, okay, but did you? But again, we believe the posters. We believe what they say. We don't try and put in too many inferences on it. But yeah, so ultimately, and I'm going to end, I think, a little bit early, I feel that I don't have anything more to say on that matter. She is not the Picklefoot, and I end with 30 seconds left.
Wow.
So
he was it in like the court? Like I give you the floor.
I can see the floor.
Yeah, I can see the floor.
I can see my timer.
That's
whatever
impressive.
It is.
You're like, hey, I'm done. I got it. I mean, I said what I need to say.
It was pretty. I could continue to pontificate on like the breed of the dog or things like that. I didn't talk about that. That could be a thing if it was like a more standard aggressive breed. That's
Do you want to continue the time?
No, that's just an additional thought that I'm having.
Okay,
but that doesn't really
That's
reflect
fantastic. I think you should get an award for not only finishing your thought, but like finishing it before the time goes up. I'm going to put something up on the screen, just like congratulations, you did it with the 30 seconds.
30 seconds on the dot.
Yeah. So you're saying, are they the Picklefoot or not?
And they are not the Picklefoot, is what I think.
Not the Picklefoot?
I think the society said, again, with my understanding of trick-or-treating rules and societal understanding, I would say that they're not the Picklefoot.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to read you the little comment that tells you whether or not they're Picklefoot, and then I might say a little bit about it. But they said, you let your dog sniff around other people's gardens just so you didn't have to go out again for their walk? ? Soft, you're the Picklefoot. Not everyone is a dog lover. Not everyone wants random dogs sniffing around their gardens. Take it from a dog lover that owns a dog. This wasn't the best choice. It doesn't matter how good your dogs are. Not everyone is going to want them on their property. And so a lot of people were saying the same thing, that it's not kind to bring your pets onto another person's property, which I kind of understood. And what you kind of said in your thing too, dogs pee, and dogs pee can ruin a lot of stuff. Like we had a dog before, his pee would make like, spots in the grass. So if you have a very beautiful lawn and your dogs are, urinating in that lawn, then it would be pretty bad. Or even if you're picking up the poop, you might not want poop out there because maybe you let your smaller kids like crawl around in the grass and stuff. I'd still say dirt is dirt. It's going to be nasty anyway, but like I can see it's kind of like if you brought your dogs to someone's house, you wouldn't recommend like not telling someone and just bringing your dog to someone's house. But I see that the separation is like the lawn is a part of their house. And so it's like, don't bring your pets there. It's not like
they waited by the sidewalk while their kids went up. They did go up with their kids to the door and then held the dogs back. That I can understand that. I am a dog person. I love dogs. So that might be me clouding my judgment just a little bit.
Yeah.
We have been doing at our house trick-or-treating for the first time like since in the past like 2 years since we've lived there. So we like have the light on and we got the bowl of candy and been doing trick-or-treat. We had so many roomies that came to the front door. So many little girls dressed as roomie. It was hilarious.
Okay. I thought you said roomies. That's like your roommates came out? Okay.
Our cats.
That's right.
No, but it was one of those things where I love it. And if one of them had brought a dog, I would have been like, yes, other than worried about like it going after one of my cats.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, you know, that's why I put my decision. So I'm gonna stick with mine, even though it's wrong in comparison to the rest of society.
Honestly, yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I respect people's opinions, though. Especially, I think in the future, your best bet is to just wait by the sidewalk, or just take your dogs out at a better time.
Yeah. I would say soft, you're not the Picklefoot in that way.
Like more like leaning a little bit towards the Picklefoot.
Yeah, you didn't really do anything wrong. Just be careful next time. Don't do that again.
Soft, not the Picklefoot. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's the first time we've had one of those, I think.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you.
Nice. Absolutely.
All right. I think it's my time.
Yes. So we are now moving on to the 2 minutes. Am I the Picklefoot for telling my friend she should go and see a therapist instead of making me be one?
Wow. Okay. Here we go.
Alrighty, here goes the story. I, 30 female, have been friends with Kate, 29 female, for nearly 20 years. I live in a different country from Kate, and the time difference is about 5 to 6 hours. Moved when I was a teen, so it's not a recent thing. I also need to add that at the moment I cannot travel back to my home country and be safe there. Oof, I don't know what that means, but that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Now, over the past few years, Kate seems to have developed some mental issues, which became significantly worse with her giving birth to her first child last year. Like, genuinely, she would come across as if she is spiraling. Like, to give you a slight idea, she would send 40 messages to me in the space of 10 minutes or paragraphs of text, and if I didn't respond within a minute, she would start calling and crying or recording voice messages saying she can't do this anymore. That can happen at any time of day, including when I am sleeping or working. I have tried turning off my phone, but she would start contacting my family members, making it seem like something might have happened to me so that they would be worried too. This behavior started about 2 years ago, and I'm honestly exhausted. I did some therapy for myself, and I shared some solutions to help with anxiety and stuff. But Kate seems to be getting worse and worse, and gets incredibly angry when I don't have an immediate solution to fix her or tell her what is wrong with her. Now, a bit about Kate. Her family is extraordinarily wealthy. Like, she can easily afford a brand new sports car without making a noticeable dent into her account. She has a loving family, a husband, and an entire fleet of different helpers, from personal nail professional to 3 nannies for her child that were working 24/7. I'm only saying this to show that she can easily afford a good therapist. Last weekend, I have snapped and basically have told her that I am tired of her behavior and she really needs to see a proper therapist as her behavior is very concerning. I have told her I am available to talk when she needs me, but I am not a therapist and she needs to address her issues professionally before they get even worse. Kate called me a picklefoot and blamed me for not supporting her and have been telling our mutual friends how she was venting to me and I just cut her off. Am I the Picklefoot? All right. Think about it while we get you got the timer set up already. You're ahead of the game.
There we go.
All right. You ready?
I am ready.
Timer starts in 3, 2, 1.
All right. This is kind of easy. Not the Picklefoot. It is fantastic to think that Kate, the person who is messaging you, feels that you are such a wonderful individual that can help her piece through her feelings and emotions. That said, I would say as an adult, it is your job to be able to figure out those emotions in a positive and healthy way. And if you find trouble with those, which I think everyone at once in their life has trouble figuring out their emotions and feelings and stuff like that, going to a professional is the best idea, because professionals are trained to be able to deal with these kind of complicated situations and things like that. That said, Kate, sending you 40 messages is a lot. I'm going to go off on a little story on my side to take up a little of the time there. I have had people like this in my life before reach out to me with multiple messages and things like that. I think you are more than correct in telling them to find a professional and in such a kind way, going over and saying, like, I can't help you with this anymore, because what it sounds like is they are using you as this like kind of crutch to be able to lean on you for the situation, to lean on you for anything that they're feeling. They can't do that, mostly because you're a human being. You have your own life, you have your own things. And also, like you kind of were mentioning, you're not getting paid for this. If she wants you to be a confidant and person that she's using for this kind of like, therapists get paid hundreds of dollars per hour for
30 seconds left.
just one of those sessions. So yeah, you should be getting paid for that. Now, it is your choice whether or not you want to continue in this friendship at all. But I would go even further and say, if they're going to be this rude to you after you have given your time and efforts towards them, it might be time to say goodbye to them and, you know, maybe check in every once in a while to see if they have a therapist or not. But you're not the Picklefoot. You're doing exactly what you need to do. Don't let them take your time. Your time is sacred. You are valuable.
Time.
Yay.
Very nicely done, sir. Very nicely done.
Yeah, that was fun. I didn't want to go too far into other stuff.
There's a lot of things you can dig into with that story. And that's why I was like, oh, this is going to be a fun one to have you read.
One.
No, I've been in that same position. I've had friends before. I had I'm not going to go into intense details, but I had an ex that was very much like that. And so it's very much one of those things where like you have to recognize what you can control and what you can help, but then also recognize when someone is coming to you and they're really just there to try and just be someone to vent to.
Yeah.
And like it starts bringing you down eventually. Sometimes you have to be able to set that boundary of like, I am not going to be the person that you come to and complain to anymore. Yeah. Because this is exhausting for me. This is emotionally draining, and I need to be able to just have a conversation. Like, that's the thing too, is it's like, it ruins friendships.
It does.
If you're just a friendship where one person is just complaining and complaining and complaining and anxious about life, you're never going to be happy. No. And like you're going to start building resentment every single time that they call, because you're just like, what crisis am I putting out now? What situation am I having to save them from?
You're always trying to talk them from the ledge, basically.
Yes. So I don't always love it when people bring financial situations into it, but she is in a very well-off financial situation that she can afford a professional to help her. And that is something like she needs to utilize. Don't just go and vent to your friends, because then at this other time too, it becomes a question of like, is she actually trying to get better, or is she just seeking someone to talk to?
I'm going to go off a limb there. I think she's just seeking someone to talk to.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think.
Some people create drama just to be able to talk to them because it's something fun. It's something interesting. But on the other side, for what you're saying too, it's like they are venting to you. Is she a place that you can vent to as well?
Yeah.
Like, there's one thing if you guys are going like, back and forth talking about how terrible everything is, and she's like, yeah, oh my goodness, my Bugatti broke down yesterday and I didn't have a way to work, and you're like, hey, my Honda Civic is, having a little difficulties.
That's every Tuesday.
But like, if it's only one way, that's also unfair for you. Yeah. So, I mean, just think about that, buddy.
Well, good news is you are correct. They labeled her not the Picklefoot. So I'm not going to get into the comments because pretty much just reiterate everything that we've already said.
That's fair.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, that's a good story. I mean, unfortunate story, but a good story there.
Yep. So,
all right. You ready for your story now?
Let's do it.
2 minutes on the clock.
Well, once you finish reading, yes.
Okay. 2 minutes on the clock for me to read
you to read
the
it
story.
And then me respond.
All right.
No pressure.
Here we go. Am I the Picklefoot? I want to play video games once a week.
I'm sorry.
No,
once a week? How dare they? Once a week?
Once a week.
You get once a month once you're over the age of 22. You gotta use that time wisely. Just kidding.
Well, they said, which is perfect, I feel it's important to say everyone mentioned here is a teenager.
Okay. Very important.
The day it came out, me and my sister both wanted to get Deltarune, chapters 3 through plus 4. Plus, it's only downloadable and we couldn't share a physical copy. We agreed that it would be downloadable onto her Nintendo Switch and we could be played anytime by whoever wanted to play the game. Sorry, it's worded weird there.
That's fair.
Recently, she got the video game Silk Song and has played it every day for an hour or two after school. I didn't mind. It's not a large amount of time and it was fun to see her enjoy herself. I decided that as to not bother her, I would just play on weekends. Well, when I tried to take the Switch and delete my previous save file and Deltarune, she got upset. She insisted that my profile belonged to her and that all of my save data belonged to her, and I wasn't allowed to touch it. I told her that went against our agreement, and she said, well, I'm sorry that I want to use my stuff. You can delete it if you want, since I clearly don't have any say in my own belongings. Quoted exactly as she said it. Then she stormed off to her room. She's been upset about people playing on her Switch before, and it was understandable. She wanted to maintain storage, but this time the storage space literally wouldn't change at all. I'm deleting my previous save data before replaying it. I feel like I'm justified, but I don't play video games as much as her, so I'm unsure. Am I the Picklefoot?
Do we have ages?
We
just
do not
says
have
teenagers.
ages. Teenagers.
Okay.
So I assume 15, 14, 15.
It could also be 13.
They could be 13. They could be
All right.
12.
I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So again, gonna go off on a limb just with the information provided. I'm gonna say not the Picklefoot. It seems like this is a very, very, very common sibling situation that occurs. I know the amount of times that I got into disagreements with my siblings about whose time it was to be on the PlayStation, or who gets the computer now, or who gets to watch their show, or vice versa. It happened all the time. The only area where you just have to be really cautious about is that it is, from your description, OP, her Switch. And so if you guys made a verbal agreement that you guys would take turns playing it, but it belonged to her, then it's one of those things where like you have to be careful about, because at any point in time, she does, if it is hers, have the right to say, hey, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And like, she should talk to you about it first before she does that. That being said, this is not a matter of you playing it. It was more about her trying to control the save data on the Switch, which is why the story is not a good title. It was a better would have been, am I the Picklefoot for deleting the save content of my own game on the Switch that my sister owns? And you're not, because if that is your save data, especially for the Switch, it has individual profiles. So like, you weren't messing her save data up in any capacity. There should be no problem with you doing that. Yeah. So you're just going to have to, this is just going to be something that you learn as you get older.
30 seconds.
Thank you, sir. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to sit down, communicate with her, figure out what the root of this is. Is it like just a feeling of a lack of control? Did she want to play the Switch that day and you took it away from her because you have been being very generous and letting her play the new game and stuff? But at the end of the day, you guys are siblings, and you're going to have to try and work it out to come to a resolution that makes both of you happy, where you both get what you want at the end of the day. And so that's why I think that he's or she is not the Picklefoot.
Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
That was really good.
I try.
All right. Yeah, that was, I liked what you said about, is it a feeling of lack of control? Mm-hmm. Because when I read this as well, it was like, okay, yeah, there was a conversation that was done here. You guys were trying to share it, but it seems like it's less about what you're doing. It's more she feels like she's not in control of that. So yeah, I think that's exactly what that is. Well done.
Yeah, and I'm sad that the ages weren't there, because she sounds like a middle sibling.
Yeah.
That like, this sounds like this is my thing and you keep taking it from me. Why do you feel like you're owed everything? Yeah. That's a middle sibling feeling right there in my soul. So
I feel that. All right. I'm going to let you know what the public said. They said not the Picklefoot.
Called
You're
it.
absolutely correct.
Yep.
They said, I don't see why messing with your own save should upset her in any way.
Yeah.
From prior experiences, myself from sharing consoles with siblings, she probably straight up just doesn't like sharing the Switch.
Yep.
You should talk about it with her or whoever enforces the rules about sharing these things. I assume you haven't gotten a Switch for yourself because you want to save the money it would cost, which is understandable, but it seems she does feel some type of way about actually sharing and not the save itself. Now, they added an edit here. They said, with the context that you have your own Switch, I'm even more confused about your sister's reaction. I know that Nintendo got rid of sharing games through the family feature, but you can still give your own Switch the copy of the game with the virtual game card feature, which I recommend you do so that she can't hold any resentment over you or over you about using her things.
Okay, so he does have his own Switch.
So what it sounds like is he has a Switch, she has a Switch. They bought one copy of the game.
Yeah, because you can't buy multiple digital. Well, it's one copy that one person can play.
Exactly. And so then they were like, because she is playing it on hers, and then I guess we'll say he on this one, was playing it on the same thing. Instead of him having it on his Switch, he was like, I'm going to let you keep it on yours so that when I need to play, I just go over to your Switch and play it.
And that's the thing. They might not know about the virtual card thing, because that is something very, very new that came out with the Switch 2, I think, was released. So I don't know when this story originally came out, but that is something that's newer.
Yeah.
That people are able to do. So definitely one of those things that's like, this is a sibling challenge that I have been in before.
Yep.
And yet you're just gonna have to work it out. You're just gonna figure it out. And maybe that's just a conversation of Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 is not terribly expensive. I think it's like a couple bucks. So maybe it's just hey, you're gonna have to bite the bullet, and if you get some allowance or you have some money, you might just need to buy it on your own console if it's becoming that big of an issue.
Or just message Kate. She apparently has a lot of money.
Yeah, Kate.
Let her know
she's
that
not
you'll
spending
listen.
it on a therapist. So yeah, just
you'll listen to her problems and then just give you like $10.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
think
there's
that's
no
worthwhile.
problem with a 29-year-old woman talking to a teenager. No problems whatsoever.
All right, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't contact Kate.
All right, that's my story. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Fantastic job.
No. All right, so we've got one more story from me, and this is the most challenging that you will have to engage in, because this is the 1.5 one. So you will have a limited amount of time. And I have not made this story easy. I've saved my juiciest story.
Oh, no, Andrew,
This is revenge for our last episode where you gave me a story with no context and a very limited amount of time. This was intentional.
Sorry.
You listened to our last episode where we did this. It was fun.
Wait, what episode? What story was that?
I don't remember, but it was something about, it was super short with very minimal context.
Oh.
And I had 30 seconds or a minute or something to come up with
in the last
our last rapid fire episode.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
I did throw some crazy
You
ones
did throw
at
some
you.
crazy ones at me.
It was for fun. Here you go. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Am I the Picklefoot for wanting my best friend and maid of honor at my wedding, even though it's her birthday?
What?
I, 22 female, am getting married to my fiance, 29 male, next year. Our wedding isn't going to be super extravagant, as we only wanted to celebrate with our friends and family. A lot of things for our wedding are going to be simple DIY with the help of our friends and family, etc. The main thing we absolutely wanted was our wedding venue. We instantly knew it was the one we wanted we wanted a specific date, our 3-year first date anniversary. Unfortunately, our venue told us the date was not available, and so we chose a date a few weeks after. It was around that time we announced our wedding party. Flash forward about 2 weeks ago, we got a call from our venue saying that the date we originally wanted had opened up. We were thrilled, so we moved our wedding date back. We didn't have any reservations about doing this because everyone who was coming to the wedding is relatively local and hadn't made any travel accommodations yet. We told our guests about the change and everyone was fine about it until I got a call from my best friend and maid of honor. She said that the wedding was now on her birthday, which I obviously knew, and that her and her boyfriend were going to go on a trip that week. I was shocked as I hadn't heard about these plans before, but I just told her that I really wanted her to be at my wedding because she's my best friend in the world. She told me it was unfortunate that the wedding date moved, but her trip was already paid for and mostly non-refundable. I was crying at this point and just said how this is unfair and how upset I am. She said I didn't have a reason to be upset about this because I moved the date without telling anyone and someone was bound to not be able to go anymore. Some words were exchanged then, basically us going back and forth and bringing up old conflicts, and she hung up on me. Our mutual friends see her point and think I should get over it. However, I think it's unfair that she would drop out of my wedding so easily because of a small change, literally 21 days. Am I the Picklefoot?
All right.
So,
here we go.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so you're not the Picklefoot for being upset about this. You are the Picklefoot for how you reacted. I'm going to explain a little bit why. basically, you moved your wedding date from one day to another. People plan huge weddings generally on a specific date, and that's why having your wedding at a certain venue at a certain time is super important. So you moving it is kind of irregular and not really normal for a lot of people to do so. Your friend wanted to have a vacation on their birthday. If this is your maid of honor, basically, you should have known that it was her birthday. And honestly, before you move the date of your wedding, you need to check with the people. That's kind of your fault for moving it without thinking, especially since you already had a date that you were good with and then you moved it back to another one. You might think 21 days isn't all that important, but she had that already scheduled. So for one, it would be really nice for your maid of honor at that time to go, you know what?
Seconds.
I'm going to cancel everything and going to be there. But she's going to lose a lot of money for apparently a friend who didn't even have the forethought to go, before I move my wedding date, I'm going to check to make sure my maid of honor can make it. So honestly, like, while she could have been nice and helped you out, I don't think she's a Picklefoot at all for saying no to you, because you seem kind of rude. So no, you're the Picklefoot for doing this. Don't change your wedding date and expect that everyone can show up. Wow, that was done.
Nicely done. All right.
There we go.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you.
All
yeah,
right.
That kind of made me a little upset.
Yeah, that's the thing that's like, I totally respect and understand the, hey, you know, sorry, I better readjust.
You're good.
This is a hard seat. This couch.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We haven't talked about this couch. This couch is boneless. There is no support. It is all like...
It's basically a glorified beanbag chair.
It really is. But yeah, no, the part that like upset me about reading this story was it was very much like, you're very entitled right now. It's the like... It was the, hey, this is paid for and non-refundable. And the person's like, I'm sorry, but this is my wedding and I really want you here, so you should be here. I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. No, that's not how it works. Unfortunately, you're going to have to find a different maid of honor because you changed it. Mm-hmm. You were the one who changed all of the dates. You're the one who changed all of the things. And yes, I understand that it's not a big wedding in the sense of it being super small, but it is one of those things that like you're responsible for recognizing that other people don't have to exist around your timetable.
Yep.
And so I agree with you completely, as does the public. They completely agreed as well.
Awesome.
Honestly, just like there weren't a lot of comments because everyone really just kind of like tore into it. The big thing that they tore into specifically was just the way that she talked about it. It was very much this like, I got upset. I'm like, okay, but you just realized that you just told your friend to cancel her birthday plans that were made and paid for last minute. And then we shared words. I'm like, and notice that you didn't write what words you said because you were probably would not paint you in a good light if you said what you guys brought back and forth up to each other.
Yeah, bringing up old trauma. It's like, okay, well then it seems like you guys have other issues you need to deal with.
Yep, exactly. So it was very much one of those things where you're just like, ooh, yeah, this is not great. This is not good.
It sounds like she already just assumes everyone should be able to show up. Everyone should be there. And it's like, I understand this is your special day. This is the big time that you want there. But understand also, other people have lives. Mm-hmm. Other people have stuff that they want to do and live and do, like just exist. So you can't just assume everyone is just going to be okay with whatever you decide.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where you're just like, it's entitlement. It screams entitlement where you're just like, the world revolves around me. And so it's my marriage day. So you will bend to my whims of everything that I want, especially because you're my maid of honor.
My marriage date that I decided on after I moved it from one time to another. Like, it's like, come on, dude. You're not even sticking with your own date. Why should someone else? You know? I'm just like, I'll trust it a week before because then you can't move it.
Yeah, oh my goodness. So true, though. Yeah, wild story. So,
right.
Not as hard as I wanted it to, but definitely messy.
I mean,
definitely
it was pretty messy. Thank you. Thank you for not going too hard on me there.
You're welcome. I'm kind. Unlike you were that one episode.
Oh, no. I'll try to be kinder.
No, you're good.
All right, you've got one more story, my friend.
All right, let's do it.
Last story of the episode. So, you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Am I the Picklefoot for refusing to be the office tech person just because I'm the youngest?
This is going to hit a personal home. Go ahead.
All right. I'm 26 and work in a small office where most of the staff is in their 40s to 60s. I'm not in IT and I'm not a tech wizard. I just know how to use basic programs without panicking. Somehow that's turned me into the unofficial tech guy. I've never volunteered, but anytime someone's email freezes, the printer jams, they can't remember a password, or Zoom won't load, it's instantly my responsibility. I've tried to be helpful, but it's gotten ridiculous. I've been pulled out of meetings, interrupted on calls, and even bothered during lunch because someone can't find the PDF button again. Last week, our actual IT guy was out sick, and my boss told me to step in and help people until he came back. I told him no, because I'm not trained for any of this, and I have my own work to do. He rolled his eyes and said, "You're the youngest one here. This stuff should be easy for you." I told him that being born after a certain year doesn't automatically make me qualified to fix Outlook or whatever meltdown someone is having. A couple of people laughed, but my boss didn't think it was funny.
Oof.
Now I'm not a team player, and apparently difficult because everyone assumes it takes me 2 seconds to fix everything. It doesn't, and I'm tired of being treated like IT just because I'm younger than them. I really don't think being 26 makes me the default tech department. Am I the Picklefoot?
Philip, does this come from a personal place of...
This is just my story, guys.
Did you write your own story, Philip?
No, this is not my
gosh.
story, but it would be funny if it was. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna put my story on Am I the Picklefoot, and then
see,
have
just
you
sneak it in there to see if no one noticed.
like, Andrew, just tell me I'm not the Picklefoot. Come on, let's go.
Good news. I'm ready when you are. 3,
Okay.
2, 1. So I don't think you're the Picklefoot. I don't love the way that you responded. I don't love the way that OP responded to being asked to do all of these things, but I have also been in a similar position. We talked about for many, many years, I worked as I think I've talked about working as a dispatcher.
Yes, yeah.
I worked as a dispatcher for many years, and I was one of the younger ones. And so, yes, I would be the person that would get called on to help with minor computer problems and things like that from time to time. And it can get exhausting. It can be, frustrating to be the one that's always called. Thankfully, it never got to the extent of like interrupted from meetings or things like that. Like, absolutely, there needs to be a boundary in place. And honestly, it sounds like if you're being utilized as much as you are talking about, there needs to be consideration of like a compensation, because you are going above and beyond your normal expected duties to be able to do this. Like, you're working as IT at that point in time. But that being said, the way you responded, probably not the best. This should have been a sit down conversation with your boss. You should have been like, "Hey, I really appreciate that you're coming to me and you recognize that this is a talent that I have, but unfortunately this does not fall within my normal work duties. I need to be able to get my normal work done, and being on call IT is taking me away from that. If you want me to be an on-call IT for the day, I will gladly do that, but that needs to be my sole job for the day." So with that in mind and that conversation with his boss, I'm going to label him not the Picklefoot.
Nice. Well done.
Yes,
That was
1 minute
right
and
on
30 seconds
time.
is that sweet spot.
It is a sweet spot there. It's like when you can say what you need to say without going too far into it. Well, fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
The public also agrees with you,
Good.
as do I.
Good.
Not the Picklefoot. But I think their response was a little bit more on the side of like, I get their frustration though. And that's where I think you came in with, Phil, is this your own story? I think if you are good with tech in any kinds of way, they assume that you're there. Yeah. What I see so realistically in this story though is when the IT person was out, they expected this individual to step in.
Yeah.
You're
Poor
not being
OP.
paid to be IT.
And IT is paid a decent amount. That's the part that's like, most IT people are paid a decent amount. So on top of that, you're having to do the job of someone who is literally being compensated to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
That's not fair to you.
That's not fair at all.
And so it's very acceptable for you to be like, "Hey, I'm not going to do," and I don't love the "oh, you're not a team player," or "oh, you're difficult to work with." Like, okay, so you do one thing. I will say, that it is actually like that is like an element of ageism where someone's like, well, you're young enough, you should know how to deal with this. And that is something that is
You call HR.
You can call HR on that, by the way. So if people are trying to be like, well, you're young, you can do this, or if they ever like bring up your age, they bring up your sex, they bring up your nationality, they bring up anything about who you are as a person, and be like, well, you should be able to do this because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah, I think that's protected traits. I think that's what it's called.
I think that's one of them. Yeah. And so feel free to be like, hey, I'm not going to do this. And then if they continue to retaliate against you, recognize that you're going to be opening a can of worms, because if you're going to put your foot down and establish a boundary, some businesses don't like that, especially if they're already toxic and not respecting your boundaries as it is. So just be prepared for, I don't want to say a fight, but just be prepared to have to stick to that boundary. Of being like, hey, no, we're not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. So
especially if you're not getting paid for it.
Yes.
That's a first thing. You shouldn't do work that you're not being paid for in your company. That's a big no-no, because they can go over and call you out for that as well. And then secondly, like you said, that it's slightly ageism. I would say even fully, that's ageism there.
It's just ageist,
Yeah, so yeah, you can call them out on that, but yeah, I agree with you. Be careful.
It also is the other part of me that I can't stand, which is just like when older generations refuse to learn how to fix things themselves.
But why do I need to find the PDF button
when a little youngster can come up and do it for me?
Exactly.
And it's like, no, you need to learn, because being a person is growing and adapting to new things, because we have to do that.
I'm good. I can just have you fix it for me, right?
Absolutely not. Drawing that boundary right here. Nope, not doing it.
All right. Well, I think that is all for today.
Yeah, absolutely. That was fun. I love these little episodes. I wouldn't want to do this every week, but it's fun to like change up the pace and not be able to like deep dig diatribe into ones and just be like, okay, surface level thoughts. Let's go. So those are good stories. I like it. It's a nice way to go through stories that we haven't had a chance to read in the normal episodes either. I like it. It's kind of like another grab bag episode.
Yeah. So Andrew, if they are really good at tech, or just decently good at tech, and they want to find our socials, where could they find those at?
You can find our socials at Sheltered Sages on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever it is you do it. I promise, now that I relieved myself from one of my jobs, I'm going to try and get back on doing some like TikToks and things. It's my goal. We'll see if it happens.
Comment if you want more. Just keep them on track there.
If you want to reach out to us directly, you can email us at shelteredsages@gmail.com. We might be having a domain going up shortly, maybe a website. Maybe that's something we're going to wait until the launch of semester 3.
Which is coming soon. One more episode until semester 3.
Well, 3. One more episode until the semester 2 finale.
Yeah.
Wait.
One more episode and then semester 3.
Yes, one more episode, then we'll take a break, then semester 3. Yes.
Yeah.
I was very confused. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So, all that being said, if you liked what you saw today, feel free to subscribe, hit that like button, and put your little bell on the side to get notified whenever we do a new episode. We're still doing live premieres. Thank you. And we will be doing those for the foreseeable future, at the very least. So
that's fair. As long as YouTube allows us to do premieres
absolutely.
like that, so we're going to keep doing it.
Alrighty,
but please let me know what your favorite little. I'm trying to think. We had a lot of stories today. A lot of stories. What was the first story we went through?
That was mine, and that was about packing for vacation. What is the worst that you've forgotten on a trip for vacation?
Like, I forgot that story. Yeah, what's the worst thing you forgot when you go on vacation? Well, thank you so much. If you need to figure out what the first one is again, just re-listen to or watch the episode. All right, thank you guys again. We'll see you next time.
Bye.